Let's bring you up to date with all the latest sports news. We can cross over to Chris Mitchell. It couldn't have been worse, really, if you're a fan of the All Whites, Chris. I mean, we now have to play Mexico, so we're still on tenterhooks. But, I mean, I guess there's plenty of people who are so relieved that their teams are through to the World Cup finals.
It's true, there are quite a few that are relieved. As you say, let's talk about New Zealand just a little bit. Yes, they play Mexico, and yes, my colleagues here in the studio have been laughing at your chances, Lucy, of making it to Rio. But I say, what short memories they have. Remember, New Zealand were the only unbeaten side at the 2010 World Cup. And what's more, they finished above the mighty Italy. Don't listen to the so-called experts,
Chris,
Lucy. You have a chance.
I'm not listening to the experts. I remember those moments well. And I also remember what it did for the game in New Zealand. It was so fantastic. For once, rugby was not front and centre. The entire country was watching the All Whites.
Exactly. New Zealand do have a chance. They've got a solid team, but they will have to wait. I can tell you about the lucky seven who don't have to wait, though. Bosnia, England, Russia and Spain. In South America, Chile and Ecuador. In Central America, Honduras. They are all going to Brazil in 2014. The agony, the ecstasy. Here's Giles Gofford.
Bosnia-Herzegovina's coming of age as a football nation occurred in Kaunas and Lithuania. With group rivals Greece beating Minos Liechtenstein, nothing less than a win would do if automatic qualification was to be secured for the very first time. Bosnia had to be patient with home goalkeeper Arlauskas in fine form. But the breakthrough did come midway through the second half. Vedad Ibisevic, who left his homeland as a 16-year-old, scoring his 8th goal of the campaign. Wild celebrations from the visiting fans, and a sense of justice done for coach Safet Susic.
I believe the players were watching the clock all the time. The time was passing quickly. But in the end, we were rewarded for all the efforts we made. It would have been an injustice if we did not score. We scored 30 goals in these qualifiers. That's 3 goals per game. Greece only scored 12. So I think it would have been unjust if we didn't go through.
Back in Sarajevo, 10,000 fans partied all night. How many of them travelled to Brazil remains to be seen, but for a nation recently ravaged by war, football has brought immense joy and togetherness. Celebrations too in Santiago as Chile edged Ecuador 2-1 to qualify for their second successive World Cup. Defeated Ecuador are through automatically too, but only by virtue of a better goal difference over Uruguay. So Uruguay must now play Jordan over 2 legs in November. The biggest drama came in CONCACAF qualifying. Mexico knew a win in Costa Rica would at least secure a playoff spot against New Zealand, but their wretched campaign continued, going down 2-1 in San Jose to a Costa Rica team that had already secured their place in the finals. Oribe Peralta did get Mexico back on level terms midway through the first half, but Mexico's defensive frailties surfaced once again as Alvaro Saborio headed in the winning goal, putting Mexico in real danger of not qualifying for the first time since they were banned from the 1990 tournament. Panama could and probably should have eliminated Mexico. They went 2-1 up against already qualified United States with 7 minutes remaining in Panama City. And coupled with Mexico's defeat, a win would have seen them into the final playoff with New Zealand. But the players and the crowd were stunned by 2 late American goals. Graham Zusi and Aaron Johansson denying Panama potentially a first World Cup finals appearance. Johansson is noted for his likeness to American actor Kevin Bacon. It certainly was a Hollywood finish for him, leaving the end credits to roll on Panama's campaign. Giles Gofford, BBC News.
What a tearjerker. Now, what would happen if nobody missed a penalty in a penalty shootout? The game would go on forever. Well, this almost happened. I wonder whether FIFA have thought about this. Now, they might not be playing at next year's World Cup, but players from the English clubs Brockenhurst and Andover are celebrating, making history. They've just beaten the English record for the most consecutive penalties scored. After 120 minutes of football, 29 spot kicks followed, all of them finding the net. Quite remarkable, until this man stepped up. Oh, dear. 20-year-old Claudio Herbert missed the 30th kick and they were laughing at him, I'm afraid. Brockenhurst win 15-14. Well, there you go. That's the sport for you for now, Lucy. And I cannot wait to see this kangaroo running amok.
Yeah, he's coming up right now, Chris. Stay tuned, because it's not often, as we're just talking about, that a customer leaves a